What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What if you're not the only one that wants what you want? What if there are thousands of other people who want what you want? You have to outwork them. You gotta outgrind them. You gotta get up earlier. You gotta stay up later. You've gotta execute, and you've gotta go from 70 to 120.
I don't care where you come from. I don't care where you were raised. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care about any of that shit. If you do the work consistently, if you invest in yourself consistently, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. 2 + 2 is going to equal 4. And 10 years of motherfucking work when everybody else is partying, making excuses, doing the cool thing on the weekend is going to pay off. You can do this.
We think that we're working our ass off, working hard. You know, we've been working out hard in the gym for a month, but we haven't seen any results. So we get all f***ing down and poopy pants and shit. You study for 30 minutes for a f***ing test, and you didn't do as well as you thought. What the f*** did you expect? You're not putting in the work. You have to do more. You gotta stop telling yourself that you're doing enough. In life, it's never enough until you feel this overwhelming feeling of shit, man. I'm outworking the crowd. I'm outworking everybody. I'm doing more. It's not until then, once you get there, that's when you know you've done enough. Stay hard.
Tell me one thing in your life that is great that came as a result of being comfortable. Because everywhere I look and everywhere I see in today's society, everybody's doing everything they can to be more comfortable, right? They're looking for the more convenience. They're looking for the quicker. They're looking for the faster. All the great things in my life, all the great things in other high achievers' lives, all the reasons that these successful people that you look up to, that you aspire to be like, are the way they are, have all come from a place of being uncomfortable. That's just a fact.
Of course, I get worn down. Of course, I get frustrated with stuff. Of course, things don't always go my way. What do I do when those things happen? I keep going. Because worn down isn't beaten. And frustration is not gonna kill me. And the things that don't go my way, they just turn into targets that I'm going to attack harder. When I do come up short, it's okay, because I just learned one more thing that's going to get me over the top.
When I wake up in the morning, I don't think, am I motivated to go do what I'm supposed to do? No, I don't think about it for 1 millisecond. When the alarm clock goes off, I have no thought about whether this is easy, whether this is hard, whether I want to do it, whether I don't want to do it. None of that matters. It's an emotionless, thoughtless discipline. When the alarm clock goes off, you get up, you get out of bed, and you go do what you're supposed to do. I don't care how it feels. I don't care if it's easy or hard. It doesn't even matter to me. It's just a reaction, it's a discipline, and it's life. And that's the way I choose to live my life.
And this NFL football player comes up to me. He goes, Goggins, can I ask you a question? How do you keep that dog mentality? I said, let me ask you a question. When you were younger, what did you want to be? He said, an NFL football player. But once I got there, I lost that dog mentality. He had a finish line in his brain. Guess what? A true dog mentality, I have a dog at home. I can feed that motherfucker all day long. He never gets full. It's not enough you made to the NFL. Be the fucking MVP. It's not enough you ran a 5K. Win a 10K. It's not enough you became a doctor. Be a better doctor. It's not enough you lost 50 pounds. Go out there and do something with it. Guess what? It's 109 out here, but guess what? It's not enough. Stay hard. We're on a hike in the middle of nowhere, out in the woods. You look up and you see a tree out in the distance. You see a dog tied to that tree. You can tell by looking at it, it's a domesticated dog. As you get closer to it, you want to unchain the dog and save it. As you get close to it, the dog is angry. The dog hasn't eaten in days. So his mentality's changed. That dog has become a fucking savage. In life, it's important for us to stay hungry. That hunger changes your mentality. You go from being domesticated to being a savage. Stay hard.
Analysis paralysis, right? They just start thinking and thinking and thinking. They're frozen from their own thoughts, too many thoughts. And it basically, to me, it all boils down to actually fear. Because if you're thinking, then you're not taking action. And if you're not taking action, then there's no consequence. And if there's no consequence, then there's nothing to be afraid of. The overthinking can be an excuse for actual fear. And same thing with like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. That's also fear. It's fear of not being perfect. And then on top of that, low confidence. You're not sure of yourself, so you sit around and think about doing it instead of actually doing it. Quit thinking so much and take action.
You can think about it, you can wish for it, you can hope for it, you can think all about it all as long as you want. But unless you get out every single motherfucking day and put in the work, inch by motherfucking inch, you will never get there.
So there's different leadership styles. One right now is in this weakened society, it's the instant gratification. Give a pat on the back the second they do anything. Show them that they're doing a good job. Guess what? There's a lot of things in life that don't deserve a pat on the back. A pat on the back comes when you overachieve things that you're supposed to do. In life, there's a lot of things we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be our fucking best. We're supposed to get up early. We're supposed to work out. We're supposed to be uncomfortable. We're supposed to do all these things that people are now looking for a fucking pat on the back. How about this leadership style? Instead of looking for a pat on the back, let me look at being a better team person. Let me look at better self. Let me look at doing a better family, all this other shit. Look at being the person that you're not looking for a pat on the back, but you're leading from the front, knowing one thing. As a human being, we're supposed to do these things.
Okay, so understand that when you're trying to avoid the pain, when you're trying to avoid the struggle, when you're trying to avoid the hard things in life, you are actively choosing to be average. You are actively choosing to be mediocre. And you are actively choosing to move further away from what you want in life. Because that hardship and that pain and that struggle and that frustration, they give you the skills that will forge you into a motherfucking champion. All right, so remember that shit when you try to take the easy route. The easy route never pays well. The only route in life that pays well is the hard route, the struggle, the pain, the frustration, and the overcoming of those things. And not only do they pay, they fulfill you as well. Because it shows the people around you. It shows your kids, it shows your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your community, what is possible. And there's nobility in that.
Tripling down on your strengths and don't worry about your weaknesses. If anybody out there knows who I am, I totally disagree with all of that crap. I think it's crap, and that's exactly how the people in the world become weaker people. It's by capping your brain, it's by putting this kind of garbage in it about not attacking what you're not good at. It's about putting a cap on managing your expectations. If I lived that way, if I had any kind of thought process like managing expectations, I would be a 400-pound man by now, working some job that made no money, and I would never know my capabilities. I would never have become a Navy SEAL. I never went to Ranger School.
We're all put here for a fucking reason. And it's not to go over here and beat on this drum about what should be and what's not fair. The world will never be fair. The world will never, ever be fucking fair. Someone will always have an easier path than you. Someone will always have a more difficult path than you. Regardless of how difficult you think your path is, there's lots of people out there who have had that same path and actually won huge with that path. You're just choosing not to. Because it doesn't matter if you're cooking french fries or making decisions about billion-dollar deals. How you do the job is what matters. And you might be sitting there in McDonald's right now thinking, well, fuck, nobody appreciates that I make these fries extra good every time. It doesn't matter if they appreciate it or not. What matters is if you do it or not, because the next opportunity you have, what you're doing is you're ingraining inside of yourself the ability to do a great job. And when you do a great job and you take pride in your job and the outcome that it produces, guess what happens? you become more valuable. So now you're doing the fries, next week you're doing the tacos and the burgers. Okay, and those are good too. Next thing after that, you're asked to manage a shift. You do that, you take the same attention to detail, you put it in there. All of a sudden, you're on a track. This is how it works. But because you have surrounded yourself with a bunch of fucking losers who bitch and moan and cry about fucking everything, you can't see that. And so you don't do it. And because you don't do it, you don't develop the skills. And because you don't develop the skills, the opportunities never present themselves. And this, my friends, is the cycle that most of you are in. So you have a decision to make. Your decision is go beat on the fucking victim drum or come over here and figure out what the fuck it takes to be successful. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's not one on this motherfucking planet, not a single human who beats that fucking drum that has fucking won. Not a single one. If I want to win the fucking heavyweight title of the world in boxing, what do I got to do on a daily basis for a long fucking time? Train my fucking ass off. And what's going to happen in that training for a long fucking time? I'm going to get punched in the fucking face. A lot. When you want to be good at something, you have to put yourself in the hardest possible situation for that skill to develop. And that willingness to get punched in the fucking mouth over and over and over again is what defines fucking great people from broke fucking people. All the people you know out there that fucking struggle in life, that fucking drive shitty cars, that can't make money, that fucking bitch about the economy and make excuses. You know what the real problem is? The real problem is they're not willing to go out and get punched in the fucking mouth more than once.
When I was going through training, we had to carry these heavy ass boats on our heads. We had 6 people carrying these boats. The heaviest part of the boat was in the front. So those weaker people would always look for the very back of the boat. The back of the boat is where the boat would barely be touching your head. We had a name for it. We call it duck and boat. A lot of people put their head down, crouch under it, so that boat wouldn't be breaking your neck. A lot of people in life out here are riding the back of the boat. They're ducking that weight. You're part of a team, but you're the weakest person in that team. And everybody knows you're ducking the boat. You don't want that boat to touch your head. You don't want to hurt your neck, but you want to be part of the team, but you don't want to do any work. In life, it's important to not always draft. Sometimes you gotta lead and block the win. Stay hard. I can't find my why. I can't find my purpose. I can't find motivation. Can't find the gym. He went on and on. So I said, hey, okay, relax. Just relax. Can you find your balls? Once you locate those, I need you to grab them. After you grab them, I need you to go find some shoes. If you got some shoes, you can go walk. You can go run. As far as the gym you can't find, do you have a floor where you live? Do some push-ups. Do some sit-ups. We're waiting to find purpose. We're waiting to find why. We're waiting to find all this shit before we start. The thing about it is this. Start now. So when you find your purpose, you find your why, you can get after it. Stay hard. So another year has come and gone. And a lot of us are in the same place we were last year. What the fuck are you waiting on? We sleep 1/3 of our fucking lives. And we think we can take days off. We think we have the right to sit back and give ourselves fucking options on which way we're gonna go in life. Am I gonna run today? Am I gonna work out today? Well, it's Christmas. It's New Year's. It's my birthday. Do you think time gives a fuck that it's Christmas, that it's New Year's, that it's your birthday? You give yourself too many fucking options. Let me tell you one thing. Time is running out. Keep on sitting around wondering what the fuck you want to do. You're just gonna run out of time. Stop following the fucking crowd. They may take time off, but you can't afford to. Stay hard. I can't get a break in life. I hate that damn mentality, but I can't get a break. You aren't giving any breaks in life. You make them for yourself. We are all being tested in life. While my test is different than yours, you will be tested. And how you face that test and how you overcome that test determines the rest of your life. The one mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. I'll never be in the Olympics. I'll never be a professional athlete. but still I grind. I fail at most things I do, but still I grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but still I grind. And that one day, you see me down a dark alley, run at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing. I was grinding. Stay hard.
And if you ain't got more heart than me, if you ain't been working harder than me, if you ain't sacrificed more than me, I'm gonna destroy you. And I'm not retreating. I'm not running. I don't care what they say on paper. I don't care how many games you won. I don't care if you say we outnumbered. We live by this and we die by this. We don't retreat. We don't run. Every man must search his own soul. That's why that Martin Luther King quote, that's why I say like you don't judge a person by where they stand in times of comfort and convenience. You judge them by where they stand in times of challenge and controversy. And if you ain't work, like when you work for something, it gives you a different type of attachment to it. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender.
So if your family doesn't understand, why are you so daggone crazy? Because I'm trying to be the best I can to give you the best that I am. And it takes being obsessed to where people think you're crazy. Once you become obsessed with something, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you gotta be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do, it's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. And then you help other people become better from you being the best in the world.